Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 2 of our garage tour of the vehicles and implements that are part of the premium expansion for Farming Simulator 22. In this video, we're going to take a look at the 2 new weeders from a new brand and 2 new mowers and a new tedder from Samez. But before that, this video is brought to you by Lawrence Anderson and Will Hausman. Thank you for being farm barons. Let's go ahead and take a look at this stuff in the shop. We're going to go to mods and DLCs, premium expansion, because that's the easiest way to find this stuff. And let's start with the weeders first. We have a new brand in Gore Neck, and we have the Puller 450 and the Puller 600. $4,000 to buy for the small weeder, 4-point meter working with, 45 horsepower, 7 mile per hour working speed. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We've seen these things in the past. We kind of know how they work. We have then the Puller 600, $6,500 to buy, a little bit bigger version, 60 horsepower to operate, 6 meter working with, and again, 7 miles per hour working speed. I do have a field of parsnips staged over here where we can just demonstrate their use in a little bit. Then we have the mowers. You can't have too many grass options, can you? Well, maybe not. At any rate, we have the Samez KDF 341S front mower, 110 horsepower to operate, 3.4 meter working with, and 13 mile per hour working speed. Fairly straightforward 3-point hitch front mower. Not a lot of new functionality going on here. Then we have the Samez KDD 941STH. This is a rear butterfly mower, 3.8 ton weight, 220 horsepower to operate, 9.4 meter working with, and once again, 13 miles per hour. Now, this one does have a trick up its sleeve. We're seeing more and more of these butterfly mowers come with windrowing attachments. So this one has a set of belts on the rear that's going to allow you to do all types of various working mode adjustments. So we're going to do widespread. We're going to be able to do windrow spread. We're going to be able to kind of do a widespread to the left, widespread to the right, and all of that. $70,500 to buy. Now, if you do a front mower and rear mower combination, you're going to need a pretty hefty tractor at 330 horsepower per the horsepower ratings. Now, I am going to try to use my handy dandy, trusty, rusty Sweetsfar 8280. It's configured with 287 horsepower. So we'll see how well that fares. And then the last piece of machinery we're going to take a look at in this video is a Samez tedder. And this one does have a little bit of a trick up its sleeve as well. Mods and DLCs, once again, we have the P8 890 tedder, $16,500 to buy, 60 horsepower to operate, 8.9 meter working with, and 9 mile per hour. Now, we do have a configuration options on this one. That is boundary spreading system no, which is the default, or for $800, well, we can turn it on and we get this little panel that comes out, and we're going to demonstrate how this works. But basically, when we unfold this, we can unfold the panel and basically activate the boundary spreading system, which then prohibits the tedder from flinging product off to the left side. So in essence, you could use this kind of to help rein things in when you're close to a fence row, maybe close to a tree row, or just at generally the edge of the field. Let's see how all this stuff works. Let's start with the mowers. Pretty straightforward. We'll unfold the rears. You're going to see Control Y. We're going to change the working width from swath dropping to left swath, right swath, wide spread, and back to swath dropping. So lower these down, turn them on, and of course with swath dropping, we're going to be shooting our product to the middle. You can change the working mode on the fly. Left swath. right swath, and then the classic wide spread. So depending on what job you are performing out here in the field is going to be what mode you are going to be wanting to use. Another great resource. I really love these mowers that let you decide, do I want to swath or not? Because, you know, if you're going to make silage, you're going to want to swath. If you're going to want to be making hay, you're going to want a wide spread. And there's going to be opportunity times where you're going to want to kind of, if you're running right along the boundary of a field, you're going to want to, once again, maybe shift it so that you are shooting that product into the field and you don't have to worry about, you know, running into a fence row or something like that. So, real quick disclaimer before we get on with the weeders. I had earlier stated I set this field up with parsnips, which was true. These weeders don't work on the new crops. That was something that we just literally discovered here in recording this video. So I've switched this over to corn. I want to demonstrate. I'm going to weed a pass of this cornfield, and then I've got a parsnip field just up the way, set up exactly the same way. You're going to see these weeders, they don't work for the new crops. You're going to need to use something like the horse aggravation transformer hoe in order to basically get in there and weed between your rows on those new crops. So let's go ahead and unfold this. We've got a really cool animation going on, a single cylinder pushing both sides down. Gonna lower our weeder and off to the races we go. Right, we know how this thing operates. You just drag it through the field and it's going to rip those small weeds up out of the ground. If you have medium weeds on the field, you're going to need to use a different implement in a hoe or the sprayer and spray herbicide. So there you go. The weeder is clearly getting rid of the small weeds here in the cornfield. Like I said, I've got parsnips set up right here, and we're just going to continue on. What you're going to see is the only weeds that are going away because I have crop destruction on, and the tires of the tractor are basically get rid of those. As if we raise our weeder. We're getting the same de-weeding action, as you can see, just where we're driving. Then we have the larger version. Same really simple single hydraulic cylinder, pushes both of those closed. We'll lower it down and off to the races. There we go. So the new weeders are going to be good for your traditional crops, but you will want to use something a bit more like the horse aggravation transformer weeder in order to get in between the rows. That one's really nice also because of the fact that it's going to follow the rows. So it has a really nice animation there and gives you a really good sense of realism as well. Now that is a paid DLC. If it's something you don't want to pay for, that's fine. There is other options. We go here under weeders. You have the Chop Star. This is also going to work to get in between those rows because this is also set up as a hoe, and hoes are going to work for small and medium-sized weeds. Or, of course, you always have your herbicide and your sprayer. Now let's take a look at the new functionality of this tedder. I had unfolded it just for the thumbnail. We have the folding animation. Really neat lock there. Lock it in place. Really neat animations on that. Then you'll see from the F1 menu, we have Control Y to toggle the work mode. So shift that panel down and shift it up. Slow this down. Turn it on. And we can see the spread at this point. So let's go ahead and toggle it down. See what it does. You see it's not spreading out to the wide, to the left. When I raise this up, it definitely does increase that spread. We'll do it one more time. You see, as soon as I lift that up, it does spread it out further to the side. So again, if you are tedding, like here along the edge of the field, and you don't want to spread your product outside your field boundary because you know you can't pick it up outside of land you own, we can have that down and get a nice clean edge right at the edge of your field. You won't have to worry about spreading product off onto land that you do not own. So guys, that is the 2 new weeders and the new mower set and tedder that is a part of the premium expansion for Farming Simulator 22. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below with respect to the addition of this new equipment. What do you think of this cool little boundary edge system on the Samaz tedder and the inclusion of the Samaz mowers, where you have the wide spread, left spread, right spread, or windrowing option? Are you somebody that uses weeders from time to time? Are you going to use the new weeders included in the pack? And until next time, happy farming.